Well, hello everyone. Justin Lum coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona at the Fox 10 headquarters. You are watching the Chad Daybell trial coverage on our live stream on our YouTube channel, Fox 10 Phoenix. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for dropping your questions and your comments below in the chat. It is good to hear from you guys. What a week it has been. Let's start off with what we know here. Opening statements for the Chad Daybell capital murder trial begin on Wednesday, 8:30 Idaho time. Today was all about peremptory challenges. The prosecution for Idaho and the defense each had their 16 strikes, and it was as simple as just writing it on a note, passing it to the bailiff and to Judge Stephen Boyce to whittle down the pool from 50 to the final 18. And as we know from what we've seen reported from Nate Eaton, East Idaho News, 10 men and 8 women on the jury, much like last year. Same thing as last year, Lori Vallow's trial, 10 men and 8 women. Now, who will be the 6 alternates? That remains to be seen, because these 18 people will sit through the entire trial, hear, see all the evidence, and when the jury deliberates, the 6 alternates will be told that they are alternates. The 12 jurors will deliberate and at some point come to a verdict. So it was interesting that on Friday, the court started with 52. And Judge Boyce in the beginning of the week had said they wanted to hit the number of 50. And so they did that by end of Thursday. So we were all thinking, okay, well, Friday's the day to go through the peremptory challenges, and then maybe opening statements begin Monday, today. Instead, they went through another group of jurors on Friday, passed another 5. So we had 57 coming into this morning. And then Judge Boyce told these 5 that, well, you guys are extra. You're free to leave. And then I believe from seeing what was going on via the reports inside the courtroom, one person was not an actual Ada County resident where this trial is happening, the Ada County courthouse. So that person was excused, and then another, it got down to 50, and then, you do the math, and you got 32 people dismissed through the peremptory challenges. Now, these 18 people are going to decide the fate of Chad Daybell. They will decide, based on the evidence and the facts presented to them, if he is indeed guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, grand theft, and insurance fraud. Will he be convicted? And then, after that, this same jury will then decide if he spends the rest of life in prison, or will he get the death penalty. Compared to last year in Lori Vallow's trial, that's Chad's wife, she did not have to face the death penalty. That was off the table. So there's a lot going on, a lot more going on here with that portion of it. If he is convicted, again, he's innocent until proven guilty at this point. But opening statements begin Wednesday. Some people have some questions and comments about that. Why are they taking the day off tomorrow? And they have the rest of the day today. Court's now dismissed. But last year, when Lori Vallow was standing trial and a jury was selected, that was on a Friday, and then they had the whole weekend to get things in order and then beginning opening statements on the next Monday for her trial. So I believe that's what's happening here. They have been live streaming the jury selection throughout all of last week. But the reason why it was not live streamed today is because if you have 50 plus people in a courtroom and you've got Zoom cameras everywhere with different angles, they do not want these jurors identified at all by any means necessary, because this is a public live stream that's all over. It's all over YouTube. It's all over the internet. So that's why you can imagine it was an easy choice to not live stream it. But from here on out, as opening statements begin on Wednesday, be back to normal. You should have a view of Judge Boyce. You should have a view of Chad Daybell and his attorney, John Pryor. You should have the angle on the prosecution and the witness stand for whoever's testifying. And then interesting information for you guys, if you're following our coverage, we actually have a former juror from last year's trial, Tom Evans, alternate juror. He will be joining me for an interview, and we will be providing a report later in the day. He's been in the courtroom since the beginning for Chad Daybell's trial, just as a public civilian, to take notes. He's written a book on Lori Vallow's trial, and I believe he's doing the same for Chad Daybell's trial. So I'm going to get some insight from him on what it's been like in there, seeing Chad really for the first time in person, what it's like having this different perspective now that he's not on the jury. And before last year, he knew nothing about the case. Do we have some questions here? I'm just going to go through some of the comments. Thank you, Charlie, for watching our documentary on the Lori Vallow trial. Really appreciate that. It was a lot of work, but we are proud of it, and it provides a lot of insight and preparation for this trial. You can expect to see a lot of the same witnesses, the evidence being that these are the same victims and that Lori and Chad are co-defendants. It's just that they have separate trials. There may be some different twists, some new witnesses. Obviously, Chad Daybell's attorney will be bringing in some expert witnesses of their own. So it'll be interesting to see what differences there are compared to last year. Does someone know why they are not starting tomorrow, Elliot? Yeah, we touched on that. Most likely for, the chance for this jury to get things in order. These 18 people have just found out that they are going to be major factors of the Chad Daybell capital murder trial. Their lives are going to be changed, and the stuff they will see, it's not going to be easy to see. It's not going to be easy to hear. So this is a lot of planning in order, and the possible situation of being sequestered at some point. Judge Boyce hasn't ruled that out, so definite big life changes. All right. Will you be attending in person at all during this trial? TBD, that remains to be seen. Can't answer that right now, but the good thing with this live stream, I can talk to you guys as it's going on. I can tweet about it. I can get on here with updates, can provide you the information, the commentary, the analysis, and you guys can ask your questions in live time as well. And what is the age range of the juror? That's of the jurors. I didn't get to see them, so that'd be tough to know. I can only tell you that there are 10 men and 8 women at this point, just like last year. Do you think that there will be significant new evidence? That is a good question. Do I expect that? With Chad Daybell's case, obviously we know that all 3 victims were found on his property. J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan were found buried in his backyard. We've pretty much heard and seen all the evidence, but there was a lot of DNA that was tested from that site. Have we seen it all? I don't think we've seen it all. We do know about a sample of DNA on a pickaxe in Chad Daybell's shed, and that sample had matched to Tylee Ryan. But will there be more similar situations like that with tools, with samples inside the house that have any connection to Tammy Daybell? She was found dead suddenly in her bedroom in October of 2019. I think that there will be some new details, maybe not huge bombshells, but pertaining to Chad Daybell. I don't want to speculate, but last year was more focused on Lori. Like when we heard about her hair being found on JJ's body stuck to the duct tape, that was something that we had never learned of. So yeah, that will be something that we're looking for, is what law enforcement has to bring, and if any law enforcement from Arizona will be present. Obviously last year there was context to that, and the roots of Lori Vallow's case are in Arizona with her former husband's death and her niece's ex-husband, the cases that she has against her in Arizona. Law enforcement from Chandler and Gilbert were able to testify and able to provide the jury more information as far as a motive. That's why prosecutors brought them in. So comment, they're not going to release the witness list. We're going to find out who is testifying when they testify. Yes, there is no witness list that we know of, but if you follow last year's trial, it gives you sort of a primer because you know the investigation authorities are FBI, Rexburg Police, Fremont County Sheriff's Office. You can expect that these detectives that were on this case will be subpoenaed to testify again. Family members, Tammy Daybell's sister testified last year. FBI, special intelligence people from that agency were there. So I would expect the same there. Wow, a lot of good questions. We got 180 people watching right now. Charlie, do you think that the rest of the group will ever be charged with aiding and abetting, like both Melanie's and Zulema? I think if that was a possibility, I think that would have happened already. I think the people charged are the people that have been charged. And right now, really, it's only Chad Daybell is the only one left who's about to stand trial. Alex Cox, Lori Vallow's brother, is not here. He's not present because he died in 2019. He's listed as a co-conspirator in this case, but he's passed away. All right. I just wanted to give you guys a quick synopsis of today as we go into opening statements. I'm interested to see if they bring the same theme of money, power, and sex like they did last year as what the prosecution presented to the jury, that those were the motives for Lori Vallow specifically, because Lori and Chad had this affair going on and they had life insurance at stake between their spouses, money to be made, and how Lori kept on getting payments from Social Security benefits for her children, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow, and never reported that anything had happened to them, never reported they were missing, and never cooperated with authorities when they were being looked for by everyone in the world. So that definitely created suspicion. So we will wait and see what the prosecution brings and what John Pryor's defense is, what his opening statement will be. And will Chad Daybell testify at some point in this 8 to 10 week trial? It's going to be a longer one than last year, you can expect. Will Chad speak? He's very quiet, has a serious demeanor. We've rarely heard him talk much. Obviously, last year in Lori's trial, you heard her speak, not in her trial, but in her sentencing. All right. And also important to note, again, that John Pryor is not death penalty qualified, and he's the only lawyer right now for Chad's defense. So we'll see what happens with that down the road. So I hope you guys, wow, now we have 230 people watching. I hope you guys are subscribed. Leave some comments for us, and this is going to continue as we get into opening statements on Wednesday. We'll be off this tomorrow, but on Wednesday, 8:30 Idaho time, that's 7:30 here Pacific, depending where you're watching from. I would encourage you to watch our live stream, watch the trial here, and I will be able to jump on during recesses and lunches and bring live interviews via Zoom to this stream so that you guys can join in and possibly ask questions. I plan to bring Nate Eaton on at some point when he has a chance, when he gets a break from his busy day covering trial. You family members that are impacted, that is the goal here, to really provide some comprehensive coverage, to do it live in a different way that we haven't done it before. What if Daybell pleads guilty? I think if he had his chance to do that, I highly doubt that's happening at this point. Do you think that could lead to Chad later on filing for ineffective counsel? I don't know, but I think in these cases, especially when a defendant is convicted, there's usually an appeal filed, just like in Lori's case. She has an appeal going on. Those can take years. So if that is the case for Chad, what would the reasoning be to file an appeal? Who knows? That could be one factor where he didn't have capital qualified attorney for the last 4 years since this case has been going on. All right, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching and checking in, chiming in. Please subscribe to Fox 10 Phoenix on this YouTube channel, and we will see you Wednesday morning for the live stream as opening statements begin. Keep up with us for our TV reports that get published to our channel as well. We are not going to stop covering this case, and we also have the Lori Vallow case to cover. And that's here in Arizona. If you have not watched our documentary, it's on our YouTube channel as well, No Remorse, the trial of Lori Vallow, specifically discussing and diving deep into her Idaho trial that led to guilty verdicts. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Justin Lum.